What's good, YouTube fam? Just wanted to make this quick video for you guys to kind of give you guys an update on the analysis I gave earlier this week. I believe it was Monday or Tuesday. It was earlier this past week, and I want to give you guys an update on whether it played out in our favor or if it went against us in any way. So I'm about to jump into that clip right now. Alright guys, so here's my analysis from last week. I told you guys it was bearish. It was around this weekly level when we were talking about it. I'll circle it. I was telling you guys there was no reason to buy this pair, and as you can see right here, clear. We were talking about it right here in this area, and I was telling you guys it was consolidating on the weekly support level. I told you guys, however, it could potentially go up here and tap and then drop. But it was just such a strong weekly level that it couldn't break right past it, so it just kept dropping as expected. My bias was full bearish on this pair. Pullbacks do occur, so that's why, I was keeping that into perspective. I was keeping that in mind just to know that's a possibility, right? Because you always want to just adapt to market conditions and know that there's different scenarios that can happen. So we were talking about it over here, and I was saying it was completely bearish in my opinion. And as you can see, it dropped. And I was letting you guys know that there's a trend line right here, 1, 2, 3. So this was the buy zone, like I was letting you guys know. And as you can see, as soon as it got into our buy zone, it rejected off of our buy zone. It didn't make it all the way to the trend line yet, but it is expected to in the coming week to make it to that trend line. However, I do believe it might come up and continue up for a little while before it continues back with the trend on the daily chart, because of the fact that it's doing a pullback on the daily. So on the 4-hour, it's probably breaking structure. Yeah, as you can see, it broke this previous lower high. So we're expecting we're expecting a little move to the upside for now, right? Because if we put a trend line, like if you guys saw my other video, you guys connect 2 points and into the future, right? So probably right here. Let me delete this one. Okay, so right there, so we have 1 point, 2 points, and then as you can see, price broke above it, so now it's considered a buy zone, right? Okay, so here's a sell zone. Sell zone is below it, and then if it's on top of it, it's a buy zone, okay? And as you can see, it's on top of it now, so we're expecting a potential retrace to this trend line and then continue up. And as you can see, it's a pullback on the daily. So the daily structure is still intact. Like it would have to break this high right here to, in my opinion, continue any higher. And it would also have to break this trend line, like on the lower time frames. As you can see, like it broke above this trend line, right? So it's on top of it, so it's a buy zone, right? Anytime it's below, it's a sell zone. So if we go to the daily, it's the same thing for this bigger trend line right here. If it's below it, right, it's a sell zone. So I'll do another sell zone. So if it's below this trend line right here, it's a sell zone. And then if it's above it, right here, it's a buy zone. I'm talking about this bigger trend line right here, right? So right now, overall on the daily time frame, we're in a sell zone, right? Until it breaks above this previous lower high. And then, however, we're on a short term, like 4-hour chart, we're in a buy zone for short term, because every time frame has their own structure. Every time frame has their own analysis to be done, right? But the smaller time frames do make up the bigger ones, obviously. So you just have to jump around, never just, never make one analysis based on just one time frame. That's why I feel like you should always look at multiple time frames. If one time frame is too choppy, you know, make sure to go up one time frame and see the bigger picture, okay? That's just a quick tip. But basically on the 4-hour chart, we're in a bullish market right now because it broke this previous lower high, right? Lower high, lower high, lower high, right? So, and it's on top of the trend line. So we could see a potential coming into this week. Today's Sunday, it's 4:50s, market opens soon. We could see a potential bounce off this, right? If it wants to do it. We could see a potential bounce off this and then continue up and maybe connect to this higher time frame trend line, right? To see what it's really trying to do. If it's really ready to, you know, because it already hit our buy zone. As soon as it hit our buy zone, you can see that rectangle I put last week's analysis, it already hit it. That was our buy zone. However, I would hope it would get back down to this higher time frame trend line for the third touch on the bottom, right? So 1, 2, 3 touches. I wanted to hit that trend line, solid, like real solid tap, but it won't happen for a little while because on the 4-hour chart we're in a bullish market for now. It's gonna. You see there was resistance right here. That's why I rejected. So what we could do now is we could pull out our Fibonacci from low to high, right? From this previous low to the high, we're rejecting. And we're looking for key levels. Right now it's, you know, market closed at 38.2. We would need bullish momentum to think about buying this pair. So as you can see, there's sellers in the market right now. So when market opens, what we could potentially see is a gap down and then continue up, right? To fill that gap. But however, gaps don't always happen. So we just have to see what happens, you know, coming in. If it breaks this low right here, if it breaks and closes below, I'd be looking for sellers again. I wouldn't, like, this could have just been a lower time frame fake out because you see the daily still sellers, you know, it's bullish counter trend, but as you can see is rejecting as well on this pullback. So, but on the 4-hour chart, we see it's a bullish momentum for now. So if we're looking to buy this pair, we're looking for a strong indication like that buyers on the market. So we would need like a bullish pattern. And I would say a rejection, a key Fibonacci level is 61.8. That's a pretty solid level to look at. And then also it'd be a good level because of the fact that structure was broken like around this area, right? So I don't really like the 50%. So maybe potential wick, it could potentially wick down, right, into this area and then wick and hit this trend line. And a bullish pattern could potentially form in this area and then continue up, right? However, you know, we just have to adapt to market conditions and just go with what the market's given us. As of now, personally, 4-hour chart based, it's bullish in my opinion. On the daily, it is still a seller's market until it breaks above our trend line and closes and retests, right? But ideally, I'd want it to come back up here in this area, reject, and drop down and hit this trend line down here and then continue up, right? And that's what it's kind of showing me right now as of now, because on the like I said, anything that happens on the lower time frames is building up for the bigger time frame. So obviously there's a lot more data on the smaller time frames that makes up bigger time frame moves, right? So as you can see, I'm expecting, I want it to come all the way back to hit that trend line, come back down from this trend line on top, and then go and respect and hit that third trend line touch for our confirmation to buy this market, you know. But as of now, we just have to see what the market's giving us. Like I said, if market opens and it goes and closes below this low, right? Buyers market is invalid. It's back. It's short-term buyers market. What's showing us on the 4-hour chart is invalid, right? Because on the 4-hour chart, it broke a previous lower high and we're coming back up, right? So as of now, if we see bullish momentum, we could do a trend line to the upside and wait for a break of that trend line and continue back down to the downside, okay? but we just got to wait and see what it does. I hope I'm making this as clear as possible. I don't want to confuse anybody. And if you guys do need a little more in-depth explanation, leave in the comments below what you guys were thinking. But let me write it down as well for visual. So H4 chart, all right. Buyer's market, short term. No, buyers. I'm gonna put buyer's market because I don't know if it's gonna respect and close above that trend line. So buyer's market for now on for H4, right? We need to buy this market. To buy this market, we need bullish momentum. Showing buyers are in control. Daily time frame, seller's market. Okay. So basically what I'm saying is H4 chart is buyer's market. And as you can see right here, we're on the H4 now. And then we would need a bullish candlestick pattern, potentially bounce off this and continue up, which is, it's pretty good, solid. I expect it to do that, right? I expect it to reject off this area. However, I'm just going to adapt to what it gives me. But overall on the daily, we're not buyer's market till, like I've said a billion times, it breaks and closes above our trend line, right? So it can be in the buy zone, right? But I expect it to go up, reject off this trend line one more time, come back down and hit that trend line at the bottom, right? That third trend line touch. So we have 2 touch, 3 touch, okay? I want it to reject off this, come back up, break it, close above it, and continue up, right? But that's just my analysis, guys. If you guys like these, let me know, all right? So, guys, that's my analysis for this week for Australian dollar. So, basically, it did respect what we were talking about last week. It was overall bearish. It dropped, a certain amount of pips. I didn't count it out for you guys. But, like I was letting you guys know, it was a seller's market overall. And if you guys kind of are confused at my analysis I just made right now, let me know what you guys are confused about in the comments below. And then I'll try and answer them accordingly and hopefully help you guys out as best as I can, alright? So I hope you guys like these type of videos. If you do, I'm thinking about setting up like a certain day, probably Sundays, maybe Sunday before market opens, so it can give you guys a good idea about, where the market's heading in my opinion, right? Every video I make, like analysis based, I want you guys to know that this is just my analysis, right? I don't want you guys to think you should take every trade I like, basically analyze, right? I want you guys to analyze for yourselves with what you guys know already. And if you don't know certain things, ask questions, because that's the only way you're gonna learn, guys. If you don't ask questions, you're playing yourself, man. I'm telling you, I asked so many questions when I first started, and I tell you guys that you guys should ask questions, especially if you have a mentor. If you have a mentor that you're paying money and he can't answer certain questions, like what his analysis, like he can't give you a certain analysis on a certain pair, then honestly I don't know what you're paying for, because you should be getting the right information you guys are looking for, right, for your money. But guys, I'm probably gonna start these on Sundays, maybe 1 or 2 pairs starting off, and then we'll take it from there. If you guys enjoy, please smash the like button, share this video with your friends, and if you're new to this channel, be sure to subscribe, because I'm going to do weekly videos, guys. So see you guys in the next video. Peace.